when you have kids and you're trying to put up a Christmas tree, these kids be picking they're not matching anything. The decor is not decoring, the color is not coloring, and they just want it everywhere. It's not spaced out evenly. But what was the purpose of the Christmas tree? I love me a nice Christmas tree. But at some point I came to the point where, you know what? The Christmas tree is, to join in the festivities. The Christmas tree is actually for the kids because their gifts are going underneath it. So if y'all want to junk up the bottom of y'all tree, I might come back later and try to fix it a little bit. But at least let me enjoy that moment of decorating the Christmas tree with my family, because that's what it's about.
Hello and welcome to Grace for the Journey, where we embrace our path and uncover the beauty of healing together. In this safe space, we'll be exploring what it means to navigate life's ups and downs with grace. Whether you're going through something tough, looking for personal growth, or just need a little encouragement, this is a space for you. We'll share stories, ideas, and practical tools to help you discover strength and healing, no matter where you are in your journey. So, grab a cozy spot or keep crushing your to-do list. Let's take this walk together.
Hey everyone, welcome to Grace for the Journey. I'm your host Sharanda, and I am so happy to have you joining me back for another week here. If it is your first time, welcome. Welcome to a safe space where we get to talk about life, where we get to talk about life's challenges, life's triumphs, and we just get to be really vulnerable and open, and we can help each other along the path of life, this thing called life. It has been an amazing summer so far, hopefully for you guys as well. Last week we started to talk about change, and I was talking about embrace change and being able to adapt. And to be sincere, that sounds so wonderful on paper. It's so great. It's easier to tell people to do things than to actually do it. But realistically, how do we do that? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So it's a spin-off today from last week. So last week we talked about change, and today we're going to talk about how do we actually embrace it? What are the ways that we actually can embrace change? And, we spoke about the different things that life throws your way that causes you to pivot. And it could be as simple as some traffic, a flat tire, but it could also be as grand as, God forbid, losing a job, losing a person, a move, a transition of some type. And we're going to focus possibly a little bit more on the bigger events, I guess I'll put it that way, for this episode. Because, we might get irate in the moment of a flat tire. And I know sometimes it could throw some people's day off. But in terms of how many things are usually affected by it and the magnitude of the feelings attached to it. Usually it's the bigger guys, the more substantial changes, the life pandemics and all that stuff that really could really get some people down. So just going to give some practical ways of how do we actually embrace this change that I've been saying. Embrace the change. So one of the first things that I want to say is name what you're losing. Like with this change, name what you're losing. There's a place that we have to be able to admit what is exactly happening. This is a grieving moment. You are going to grieve something. It may not be a person that has passed away, but you've had something. You've liked the way it was. You had a structure. You had something going that you were happy with, perhaps, and then it changed. So there is a little bit of grief that's going to be involved in it. So what exactly are you losing? Is it the position at a particular job? And is it just a position, or is it the title? Is it the friends that came with that position? Is it a responsibility that came with that position? Perhaps it's a move, right? Is it that you're going to miss the people that you used to live with? Is it that you're going to miss your community? Is it the weather that you're going to miss? What exactly is it that you're losing? Let's name it. Let's actually dig deep, because in order for us to heal from it, we got to know where we're healing from. Because somebody could move and they'd be completely happy with it, fine with the change. And somebody else could have to move and not want to at all, right? And maybe with the person that's happy to move, they may feel like they're not losing anything. Like they may feel like, I literally have nothing to lose. Let me just go. While the other person probably has so many things, so many memories built in there. And though they're not losing the memories, that may make it harder for them to make that move. So let's name what we're actually losing. Let's see, why do I feel this way about this change? Why is this change affecting me so deeply? It cannot just be this change. There cannot just be this loss of a job. Yes, I need to provide for my family. Is that what it is? Is the financial stability? That's valid. But is it that? Because there are lots of jobs around. So just having this conversation with yourself, having this conversation with God and be like, why am I so upset about this big change, or maybe not so big change? What is it? Right? So let's name that before we can even move on. The next thing I would say is, what are you telling yourself about this change? Words are so powerful. Whether you believe in it as affirmations, declarations, whatever word you use, whether it's faith-based, not faith-based, your words carry power, and your words can actually change a situation. What are you telling yourself about this change that has happened, or this change that has taken place? Are you saying things like, oh, nothing ever works out for me? Everything always changes. Nothing is constant in my life. I'm a failure. I just can't take this. Or is it negativity? Is that what you're telling yourself? Like, what words, which sayings are attached to what is happening? Is it, maybe a wedding photographer pulled out at the last second? Are you saying things like, people always fail me, no one ever keeps their promises to me? Are you saying that because how you feel and now eventually speaking that into being about your future? What are we saying about this particular change that has taken place? And can we flip the script? Can we say something like, you know what? This hurts. This actually hurts, and I actually absolutely hate it. But you know what? I feel like this will help me grow in the long run. Can we say things like, you know what? Maybe a fresh start is actually great. It's not what I thought I needed, but perhaps I can benefit from this fresh start. Maybe something like, that is not the weather I want to move to, but you know what? Maybe I'll get to learn some winter sports or something. I always wanted to go skiing, but okay, I'll just try to embrace it. What are we actually saying about the change that has taken place, or the change that has taken place? Our words carry power. And if we want it to work out, if we want to be happy about the situation eventually, we have to change what we say. I understand in that initial moment, there may be a lot of frustration, especially if it's something that is completely out of your hands and completely unexpected, and something that you do not plan for or work for, or even anticipate. So there would be times maybe we may say things that we don't mean. But how quickly can we change those words? How quickly can we change those thoughts and shift into a more positive mindset, a more positive speaking about what is taking place? Because believe it or not, that is going to carry lots of power. There's a particular shift that has recently happened. And I remember I was not happy. I didn't understand many things. I'll get into more detail about what it is, maybe in later episodes. But I remember I was talking to somebody about it recently, and they're like, how do you feel? I'm like, I'm actually excited. Like, oh, you're excited now. I'm like, do I have a choice? I literally felt like, you know what? This is happening. I better get excited and get on board, or I'm just going to be miserable. And me being miserable is not going to help me or no one around me. So I was like, it's happening. How long am I going to stay in this, oh God, why me mode? And I say that lightly, but I say it as someone having been through lots of changes in many things. And like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. But if we can quickly shift our mindset, it makes the change so much easier to adapt to and to find the good. Because we don't know everything. It's always in hindsight. They say hindsight is, I don't remember right now. Anyway, we don't always know in that moment, is good going to actually come out of this? But, find that silver lining and change your words quickly. Change what you're saying about that situation. Change it as quickly as you can. The next thing I would say is, start small with whatever this change is. It doesn't necessarily mean like you have to change everything has to change overnight. That will be so stressful. So let's use you're moving, for example, and you're somebody that maybe you're like really big on decor. You like your space set up a certain way. Maybe you have a house that's like magazine ready, right? Pinterest ready. And now you have this sudden move, or maybe you have this sudden downsize, or God forbid there was a flood or something happened and some things in the home got damaged, something along that line. And you like to see your home a certain way. You know, if you can, like I said already, acknowledge that, okay, I'm losing this perfectly laid out home, or this perfect decor. I'm losing this. I get that I'm losing it. You may cry a little bit, you may be upset a little bit, and then you get to the next step where it's like, you know what? I did want to change this living room around. I actually did want a window that was on this side of the house versus that side. I wanted a evening, sun to come in during sunset rather than it waking me up in the morning, whatever it may be. Once you change your words to that, and then start small, and then enjoy the journey in the journey. So if in this case, if it's remodeling or moving, start to enjoy it and start small. You don't have to be overwhelmed and be like, I have to fix this entire house to what I like back in one night. And sometimes I could be that person because I just don't like to see certain things a certain way. And I just had to like stop and like, I pick my battles. But enjoy the steps. You know what? I'm going to take a week and I'm going to create and envision what I want for this study room, this new study room, or revamp this old study room because everything is damaged in it. And, you go on Pinterest, you go on YouTube, you get ideas, and you enjoy that process piece by piece as you put things together. Start small, rearranging the kitchen, whatever it may be. Don't think that because there's a sudden change, you have to have it figured out like this, and you have to get everything done like this. I think it's when we learn to, like I spoke about in the last episode, enjoy the moments and enjoy the journey. An example that's coming to mind is, when you have kids and you're trying to put up a Christmas tree, these kids be picking they're not matching anything. The decor is not decoring. The color is not coloring, and they just want it everywhere. It's not spaced out evenly. But what was the purpose of the Christmas tree? I love me a nice Christmas tree. But at some point I came to the point where, you know what? The Christmas tree is, to join in the festivities. The Christmas tree is actually for the kids because their gifts are going underneath it. So if y'all want to junk up the bottom of y'all tree, I might come back later and try to fix it a little bit, but at least let me enjoy that moment of decorating the Christmas tree with my family, because that's what it's about. And sometimes that is hard when you see them putting gold next to gold next to gold, and they should put like a red there or something else should go in the middle, or they put the exact 3 ornaments and they don't leave space because this is how it's supposed to look. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. It doesn't have to be perfect overnight, and just enjoy the journey. Enjoy the steps. Take the small steps towards recreating or rebuilding whatever it was that may have changed. Take small steps and enjoy the journey in that journey. Next thing, stay open to surprise. Okay, I'll say it again. Stay open to surprises, especially surprises from God. There's some people who just don't like surprises. And I am one of those people. There's some type of surprises I like and some I just don't like. And I'll give this example. If I am leaving work and I have in my mind, I am going home, I'm going to take a shower. Then when I'm done the shower, I am going to cook. Then I'm going to take some time and do X, Y, and Z. And I have it planned out because I had a long day and this is just what I want to do. One of the surprises I absolutely hated, and I don't use that word a lot, but I really detested it, was when my husband, who's very spontaneous, would be like, oh, we're stopping here. Oh, I want to go here. Oh, do you want to stop at the mall? No, I want to go home because this is what I have in my head to go home. I don't want to do this. I want to just go recharge. And so those type of surprises are not my favorite. But of course, bring me some flowers, bring me a gift, bring me some breakfast in bed. I'll take those type of surprises. But nonetheless, be open to surprises from God. Be open to it. And I said in the last episode, He knows what we don't know, and we could trust Him. And so some surprises are packaged in some strange ways. And I think it was my pastor that said it recently, and he says it a lot, I think, where, if some people knew what their situation and what looks negative really meant, if some people really understand this dilemma, they would be thanking God because of what is going to come out of it. And I know that could be very, 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 very hard to accept. I get it. I understand. But be open to some elements of surprise. Plan your day, but be okay if it shifts. Plan your wedding, but be okay if it shifts. Because you never know. The stories I've heard, like something like, oh, the caterer didn't show up, or the caterer canceled the last minute, and then somebody got blessed with the entire meal being prepped for them free of charge. Had the caterer never canceled, this would not have happened. So things like that we can't see what is coming out of it. And I'm not saying every change ends up that way, but be okay with some form of surprise from God. And to be sincere, when your life is in God's hand, when you've given it to Him and you're like, God, I trust you. Like, He won't fail. He will not fail you. He will not fail you. So be open to some form of surprise. Sometimes the biggest growth comes from something that you did not see coming, something that you did not expect. And I'll just segue and say that, one of the biggest things for me personally was the loss of my daughter. I didn't see it coming. Who saw it coming? Didn't expect it. Wasn't planned. Wasn't prepared for it. And although I miss her dearly, although I, would be like, she should be here. She's supposed to be here. At the same time, if I don't admit the growth and the shift in life that came after experiencing that, I would not be doing God justice. So while there's still some things I don't understand, and while there's still some things I'm like, what, you could have done this another way. We didn't have to go through all of this to get me here. At the end of the day, I have to admit, so much growth, so much change of mindset, so much passion, so much shift came from that situation. As hard as it was. And that was a bit extreme, that example I gave, but that's one of the personal examples that I have. But be open to surprises. And they're not always negative. They're not always bad, but you don't know what blessing is attached to them. The last thing I would say, and it kind of ties into when I spoke earlier about what are you saying about your situation? So that was really about what are you saying about what has happened? So now the last thing I would say is, what are you saying about this season? What are you speaking? Are you speaking life into this next season? Are you speaking life into this change that has happened? Are you saying this is going to be my best season yet? This house is going to have our best memories yet? Are you saying we moved to this place with this winter, we're going to enjoy the best winter yet? What are you saying about the next season? Are you getting excited? Are you bringing the people who are taking this change or involved in this move with you on board? Are you speaking life into it? I say it again, our words carry so much power, so much power, so much power. If you say, I'm going to hate this job, I know I'm just going to hate it there because the winters there are so dreadful and there's no sun and it's always rainy in the winter. Do you think you're going to love it? Do you think you're going to like any part of it? What are you speaking into this next season now that this change has taken place? Let's be very, very, very mindful of our words and what we are speaking over our future, over our now. Our words carry power, I say again. Our words carry power. Whether you want to use the word declaration or affirmations, whatever you use, our words carry power and we can create our future. I've heard it said that the present we are living in now is the future we created from the past with our mouth. I'll say it again. The present we are now living in is the future we once created in our past with our mouth. So, we've gone through some practical ways of how to embrace change that happens, embrace change that we're not expecting. And I just want you to really just reflect on it and just be like, you know what? Life is going to happen. But I am going to just enjoy as much as I can, even in those days that I'm just not feeling it, I'm upset. I will do my best to, learn myself, see what I need to do to get out of that rut quickly so I can hop on board and enjoy every experience in life, enjoy every moment in life. You hear it a lot when people pass away or before they pass away, like if maybe they're on their deathbed, a lot of times one of the things you hear them say is, I wish I enjoyed this. I wish maybe I didn't work so much and I enjoyed my family. I wish while I lived there, I had experienced that. I wish I did this. I wish I lived in the moment and instead of rushing to the end. Many people say it. Many mentors tell the people that they tell their mentees that enjoy the moment, enjoy the ride. You're young, X, Y, and Z. So let's slow down a little bit. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the change in the journey. And enjoy the change that comes on the journey and just live in the moment. Love you guys. See you next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you guys.